Welcome back, everyone. We've got a truly fantastic explainer lined up for you today. We're going to unpack a really profound piece by Oluyomi Oladevid called Priorities and Dispositions. And she does this incredible thing where she takes the chaotic, frantic energy of what she calls haste and pits it directly against the calm, intentional life of diligence. It's a contrast that, honestly, is probably going to make you rethink exactly how you navigate your own daily life. So does your haste make you forget what comes first? I want you to really think about that for a second. We live in a world that is just constantly demanding speed, right? We're always rushing to the next milestone, the next notification. But this explainer challenges that entire instinct. It sets up this huge fundamental conflict. Are we just frantically rushing through our days, or are we actually living with purpose? Section 1. Meet Oluyomi Oladevid. Okay, so let's start by looking at her platform, Oluyomi Oladevid Insights. Through this, she's built a space dedicated to technical insights, policy briefs, and really deep contemplations. She explicitly states she is deeply, deeply concerned about global development and transformation. So she isn't just writing poetry in a vacuum here. She's looking at the world, seeing its frantic pacing, and offering a genuine transformative solution. You can really see her core identity broken down into a few main pillars. She's a proud Nigerian who absolutely loves people, and her primary goal is to generate solutions, provide clarity, and influence strategy. But the bedrock of her perspective, that's her faith. She notes that her Father God owns and rules the universe, and she has this beautiful way of describing him as the wheel within my wheels. It's this deep, faith-driven core that powers all of her practical, everyday wisdom. Section 2. Haste versus diligence. All right, let's look at the definition she uses. Haste is defined as forgetting what comes first. It's frantic, it's chaotic. It's that panicked feeling of just putting out fires all day and totally losing sight of your actual priorities. But then, look at diligence. Diligence is being well-ordered in all things. Do you feel the shift there? It's calm, it's structured, it's a deliberate, steady approach where your true priorities are never forgotten. Section 3. Building wealth and purpose. Now, here's a pretty stark warning from her. She says haste actually quickly signs up for poverty, which is a bit of a paradox, right? Because we usually rush because we think it's going to get us ahead. But she argues that this scattered energy actually impoverishes us. On the flip side, her diligent approach couldn't care less about overnight success. Diligence builds things to last. It's all about an enduring legacy, not some quick, fragile win. And this perfectly illustrates how these mindsets operate in our modern information age. Haste is totally reactive. It quickly shares false fads. I mean, just think about how fast rumors or negativity spread when people act on pure impulse. But diligence, she takes a step back. She takes the time to patiently generate her true goods. She's actually creating value instead of just amplifying the noise. So pause for a second. Ask yourself, are you building to last? Take a look at your daily output, your projects, even your relationships. Are your daily actions just quick fixes driven by haste, or are they deliberate investments in a long-term purpose? It's a really profound check-in for all of us. Section 4, Character and Mindful Choices. You have absolutely got to hear this quote. Haste quickly twerks to enslaving noise. Diligence counts on a prescribed rhythm. I mean, what a striking, incredibly modern contrast. Haste just gets distracted by whatever loud cultural noise is happening right now. It becomes a slave to the trends. But diligence ignores the noise. She operates on a steady, internal, intentional rhythm. This highlights such a beautiful point about mindfulness. When you're rushing around, you miss the details. Haste literally forgets to be grateful. But the diligent person? She actively keeps track of tender mercies. Diligence requires the patience to actually notice the good things happening in your life and catalog them. The crucial point here is that haste fundamentally avoids self-reflection. It forgets the mirror look, because when you're always running forward, you never actually look at yourself to see where you might be going wrong. Diligence, however, metaphorically carries a mirror around with her everywhere. She's constantly evaluating herself and committing to continuous self-improvement. And how does this affect who we surround ourselves with? Look at her observation on social behavior. Haste quickly joins a bandwagon. It's blind conformity, right? Just following the crowd because it's the easiest, fastest path. Diligence, though, chooses the company of prudence. She carefully selects her circle, prioritizing careful judgment over sheer popularity. Section 5. The eternal perspective. Notice how she completely zooms out the timeline of our lives here. Haste is entirely short-sighted, it forgets that life is long, and panics over the immediate moment. But diligence, she has eternity in constant sight. When you're playing a game with an eternal timeline, those tiny bumps in the road today, they don't require a frantic reaction. You can actually afford to be calm. Connecting right back to her core identity, she emphasizes that haste loses its grounding. It forgets her noble source. But her diligent approach is firmly rooted. Diligence doesn't rely on her own frantic energy. Rather, she trusts in the Most High God. It's basically an ultimate surrender of the need to control everything through sheer speed. And this brings us to a really powerful metaphor for her final point. Haste quickly prepares a chariot. It just rushes off to battle, arming itself based on its own panicked assumptions of what needs to be done. But true diligence, she waits for sealed orders. She has the discipline to pause, to wait for divine direction, and to only move when the path is truly clear. Which brings us to the end of our explainer today, and I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. Are you rushing ahead to build your own chariots right now, or are you diligent enough to wait for your sealed orders? Oluyomi Oladevid's insights really challenge us to slow down, to carry our mirrors, to keep track of our tender mercies, and to build things that actually last. So take a moment today to check your rhythm. Step out of the haste and step into diligence. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.